Hello, it's the day before New Year's Eve, so it's New Year's Adam. Does anyone else call it that? But it's December 30th, and I'm currently filling out some paperwork as a part of our IVF checklist. To give you a quick update, yesterday Alex and I had a call with the financial person from Shady Grove Clinic to basically discuss all of our treatment options and all of the pricing and to get financial clearance, which aka means to pay for it. And you can't start any treatment until they have the money and which plan you're moving forward with. Makes sense. And so some people have insurance that covers either full treatment or partial treatment. And so that can sometimes create delays or take a lot of time to get that financial clearance. But fortunately and unfortunately, Alex and I's insurance does not cover any fertility stuff. So we're going to do self-pay for everything, which I heard speeds up the process since we're not waiting on insurance or anyone else to give us that approval. So we had that call yesterday to discuss all of our options. We ended up learning about more options than we thought that existed. So Alex and I had some further discussing to do after the call before actually committing and writing a check and making a final decision. And because of the holidays and the financial person already telling us that her schedule's getting booked up for the new year already, I'm trying to call this girl back and make a decision, because Alex and I agreed on something last night. So yeah, I'm just waiting on her to call me back, and I just don't want the financial clearance to be the reason why we can't start IVF on my next cycle. So please, Lord, come through. You got 2 weeks to get this figured out. And then I was also scheduled for a follow-up telehealth appointment with the doctor to basically confirm that we've gone through all of the items on our checklist and to discuss next steps. But she so kindly called me earlier than expected because she had a cancellation and because it wasn't a super formal follow-up. It was ended up just being a phone call. I was able to avoid the follow-up fees. So anywhere we can save $1 matters. So I appreciated her thinking of me and wanting to save me that fee. So yeah, there really wasn't much to go over since, like I said, we've checked off everything. And since I saw her last Friday for my ultrasound, we really talked about things there. She just wanted to confirm where we're at, what we're doing. And she said as long as I complete everything on our new IVF checklist, which includes that financial clearance, then she's pretty confident we can start on my next cycle, which again, I think is 2 weeks from now, which is exciting and crazy to wrap my mind around. I don't think it's actually set in because it's not official yet. But assuming we're going to get that IVF checklist done, I'm determined, as long as the finances go through, I'm is that really going to be my reality? Is this really happening? Are we actually at that point in our journey? We're here. This is crazy. So yeah, that's just the update there. I had those appointments yesterday and just waiting to hear back from the financial girly. And also on that IVF checklist are some modules and videos that I need to go through and watch and answer some knowledge-based questions, which I really appreciate, that they have this side of the process where it's very educational and you're required to watch these videos, and I can't sign any consent forms to actually move forward with treatment until I watch everything and pay for everything up front. So I think that's a wise approach. My last clinic had nothing like this. This just feels more official and professional, probably because it's a bigger clinic with multiple locations. That's my guess. But in case you're wondering, one of the forms I have to fill out is my, let's see what is technically called, dispositional choices for the future embryos that, Lord willing, we get to create and hopefully use one day. It's funny that I have to answer some of these questions before even really starting this process, but I basically have to go through and fill out what happens if during IVF, Alex unfortunately passes away, or what if I pass away? Like, what do we do with these embryos? And so I have to literally go through and mark, like, what's the decision if Alex passes? What's the decision if I pass? And then, of course, there's a question on here about what happens to the embryos if your relationship is terminated or you get divorced. And so just having to actually fill out these things and like sign an initial off on it, like, feels very like official and permanent. And I'm like, this is just all a part of the joys of using reproductive intervention. Yeah, I have no problem sharing what my options are, but I also just feel like this is insight to anyone who's about to walk into IVF or just curious what the behind the scenes looks like, because I didn't know about this side of it until I got here. So yeah, I basically indicated that I want to donate all of our embryos if worst comes to worst and all these tragic things happen. But I definitely don't believe in discarding them. And the other like tough option is like, would we donate them to like adoption agencies or like give them to other people and allow other people to use them? That's a very touchy subject, and there's a lot of opinions on these specific decisions as far as what you should do with your embryos. What are your embryos? Do you treat them like a child? Like, when does life begin? Like, so yeah, I know there's lots of opinions, but what Alex and I have peace about, and what I believe, is that a baby is literally formed at conception, because without an embryo, it can't develop into a full-on human. But right now, on this side of it, I think donating them to medical research or clinical training, having them be used for science, is the best option for us. Might be controversial. Don't even know if I'll include this part in my video, because that probably opens up a whole new door to opinions that I'm not asking for. So yeah, filling out those forms, completing the educational videos, and then just waiting for the financial person to call me back. And yeah, they already confirmed that they've requested my IVF meds. So those, I believe, are ready for like pickup or ready to be shipped or something. So that's helping it feel a little more real. But I don't think it'll actually feel real until we swipe the credit card and it's really official. And then all that's left to do is just call the clinic on the first day of my next cycle so that they can get me in and start monitoring things, and I can start the medication. Usually IVF protocols include a few days or weeks of birth control so that they can regulate your cycle and get all the timing like really lined up. But because of my situation and my lower egg count, we're gonna just bypass the whole birth control part, which honestly seems like a positive thing to me, because if I don't have to put something in my body, like, I don't want to. She said that birth control can tend to have like an adverse effect on women with low egg counts, and it can sometimes like suppress the eggs even more. And at this point, I need all the eggs I can get. So we'll be skipping right over that. And so that also can sometimes delay someone's progress in IVF, because you're factoring in, you know, those few days or weeks of birth control and getting everything regulated and on a certain timeline. But if I'm just skipping that part and going right to the medications, then I think if all goes well, I should be able to even get my egg retrieval like shortly after starting medications. And that's like the first half of IVF. So very exciting. Hopefully more videos and content to come in the future, because I feel like now this is where everything is going to start to pick up with appointments and shots and stuff. So stay tuned. I think I might even document this part of my journey on TikTok and get more into like short form content, because I just feel like there's going to be a lot ahead. And yeah, I know there's a community on TikTok for infertility and IVF and stuff, so I think that would also just be helpful for me to be exposed to more people and more education, and to share my story whenever and wherever I can and see who it helps. So yeah, if I do that, you guys will know about it, or you'll just one day see me on TikTok randomly, which I never thought I'd say, because I've been like against TikTok this whole time for no reason other than just like, I don't want another distracting app on my phone. But I think it could also be a really good tool for something like this. So yeah, I'm gonna finish these forms and get back to work, and hopefully this financial girl calls me back soon. Okay, bye. Medicine is officially here. Oh my gosh. Look at this giant box. Oh my gosh. I'm kind of in a rush because I just finished working out. Now I gotta shower and get ready for work. But this was greeting me at the garage this morning. So after my workout, I'm like, we gotta unbox this together, because this is just bringing me flashbacks of when I feel like I did this a year and a half ago for my first IUI. Like, it's just bringing back all the memes. And I remember so vividly in that moment. I had a different job at the time. Like, a lot has happened in just that year and a half. But like, I remember just being so filled with hope and innocence and just thinking it was like such a big deal. And it was. It was. Anything in this fertility world, any bit of progress, any step forward, any time that you try and you apply yourself and you fight for your future kids, like, all of that is a big deal. But this feels like a really, really big deal and a really big box. So let's unbox it together. Let me give you some updates, and then I gotta go. It says fragile, needs to be refrigerated upon request. So like, I feel like that's just a God thing that I was home when it was delivered, because I want to say their delivery times are between like 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. So, but it comes in like a cooler and stuff like that. So I knew it was probably going to be good if it got delivered while I was at work today. But here we are. I was home. So now I get to just put this in the fridge and not have to worry about things melting or overheating or whatever. So I'm taking that as a win. Okay, now to catch you up really, really quick, while I try to unbox this, I don't know if I can multitask right now. But thankfully, one of my really good friends, I think I've mentioned her in some of my past videos, she's going to the same clinic I am. And she's a little bit further along in the process, which has been really cool to kind of like live through her. So I take that as another God thing for sure. And believe it or not, we met on the pickleball courts like over 2 years ago. And I literally just told her last night, because we were together, I'm like, I think I'm starting to realize why we met on the courts all that time ago. Like, I think it's all been preparing us for this season of life, to go through this together, which I'm so, so thankful for. Shout out to you, Maria. I know you're watching. So thankfully, since she is a little bit further along in the process, like, not only can I watch and learn from her through all this, but she had some leftover medications, which saved me probably a few $1,000s. Don't worry, I still want to like map out all of the costs, especially with like IVF specifically. I want to be upfront and honest about everything we're paying for out of pocket, since our insurance doesn't cover it, because I feel like a lot of women are in my same shoes. And so I want to make sure you guys have all the information you need to make these big decisions and to prepare you for spending lots of money, but it's all gonna be worth it, right? So anytime you could save $1 on this journey, do it. And I already mentioned that the doctor a few weeks ago, she saved me the $40 copay for our follow-up by just taking it over the phone. So I really appreciated that. But because my friend had a lot of leftover medication that was unopened, unboxed, so I don't recommend using someone's prescription that's like used or opened or whatever. I'm not condoning that. But I am condoning saving money when it's safe. And so in this case, everything was safe and unopened and unused. So she just ordered more than she thought she needed. So I was able to be blessed by her over ordering. And so all of those medications are in the fridge currently. So basically what I had to do was call my nurse and like, first of all, verify that I'm even using the same meds that she's using, because with some of these fertility clinics, the protocol can be very individualized. So I wanted to verify first that this was even a part of my protocol. Thankfully, as God would have it, it was. So she brought over all her extras, and then I walked through with the nurse like the quantities of each medication that I needed. And then I called the pharmacy and adjusted my prescription, because they had already sent over everything when I had all those like initial conversations last week, I think, when I had to do the financial clearance and all that stuff. So then I just had to call the pharmacy back and be like, actually, I only need 5 boxes of this instead of 8. And so they were able to adjust it. And the final cost of what I paid for the medicine alone was around $3,900. And let me tell you, that is a big savings, because originally, like in the consultation and all those beginning conversations weeks ago, they warned me that it was gonna be around $6 to $7 grand for the meds. But Maria was able to come through and help me out. So very thankful for that. And oh my goodness, look how cute, right off the bat, this cute little pink bracelet that says hope on it. I'm already liking this pharmacy more and more. Okay, let's get to the point, because I've been chatting for too long. Let me show you guys what I just unboxed. I feel like if I sit here and really think about it and let it sink in, that this is my reality, when it literally feels like just like yesterday, I was unboxing my first IUI like trigger shot. And now we got loads of shots. Now, I mean, we're going from 1 to like 60 shots. I don't even know. But don't worry, we'll unpack it mentally together at some point. I'm just in a rush, but I wanted to document this, of course, and show you guys what we're working with. I want to say these look like the syringes, and probably nothing that needs to be refrigerated. Okay, good. Okay, this is also another injection, but I'm not sure what it's for. We're gonna learn all about this together. I'm just doing my part and putting it in the fridge and getting ready for go time, which is closer than you guys think. I'm hoping. Okay, this I feel like is some of the main medication. Okay, I don't know what needs to be refrigerated. Like, is it gonna tell me? Sharps container. I literally have like 3 of these already, but I guess you can't have enough. Okay, now we have these nifty little, please review all contents inside of the box, even ones that may be hiding. Refrigerate items included below this card. Okay, so this is where the refrigeration comes. And the ice packs, I can probably put these in my freezer. Save those for beach days. All right, what do we got here? More injections. Refrigerate. Okay, so I'll put that over there. What is, oh wow. This is my trigger shot. So fancy. Supposedly, all of these injections and all the needles and stuff that I'm gonna use are very similar to the IUI trigger shot that I'm very well versed with. So if that's the case, I'm hoping I don't feel any of these injections, because they should all be very small and simple and short needles. And I'm sorry if these words are triggering because I know not everyone has a positive experience with needles. Thankfully, I do. And this does not bother me, at least not yet. Maybe once it sinks in a little later in the day, I might be crying. I really don't know. Really don't know, but for now, I'm in a good spot. Oh, lots of paperwork. Probably, okay, just instructions and education. All these medications. All right, well, I need to go. Thank you guys for watching me unbox my IVF meds. This was so fun. I don't know if I had any more of an update to give you guys. Let's see. So I don't remember the last time we spoke, but I got the financial clearance, but you guys know I've been making my way through my new IVF specific checklist. I have to check everything off before starting treatment. And so it was basically things like getting genetic testing, which thankfully we already did that like last year. So we got to deny that and skip right over it. Had to watch lots of educational modules, which I've already done that. I had to get financial clearance. So basically just paying for everything up front before starting, like the meds and the actual cycle and the egg retrieval and the anesthesia that I need for the egg retrieval and the future embryo storage and the embryo testing, since we are opting to do that. So all of that you got to pay for up front. And then once that goes through and you do everything else, basically all that's left is I have to call the clinic on day 1 of my next period. And then that's when I'll start the medications. Those guys over there. So yeah, I think you're all up to speed now. It's been a quick process and it's been a lot of phone calls and a lot of money and a lot of just hoping and trusting that everything gets cleared in time. So it's feeling a little real. And then also just for the sake of documenting this, because you guys know me at this point, I'm still waiting for my period to come, obviously, which means I am in that 2-week wait, which means this could be the month I get pregnant naturally. Like, we're still holding out hope for that. And I just feel like, I don't know, this time around, I had like very prominent ovulation pain, which I know can be kind of common, but I've never experienced that. And honestly, since surgery, so since July, whenever my period has come, I have started to feel more and more that ovulation pain, which, I mean, it feels like cramps, like in your lower left or right side of your stomach. Like, so it's bearable, it's fine. But I think it's like more helpful because like your body's really telling you like, this is the time. But this past month, it was like more prominent than ever. So me in my mind, I'm like, God, are you trying to tell me that this is the month? Like it is go time? Like, I don't know. So that was pretty crazy because again, I've never felt that sort of pain before and it was consistent throughout the whole entire day, like almost a full 24 hours. So I'm like, okay, just made a mental note of that. Could literally mean nothing. Like getting rid of endometriosis maybe allows me to feel a little bit more, who knows? And I should be getting my period next week, so we'll see. And then also like, it kind of lines up with my annual OBGYN appointment, which is also next week. And that was scheduled months ago. So I'm like, what if it's lining up to where I get my first ultrasound and find out that I have a baby in me? I'm just saying, I don't know, but I'm just making all these mental notes of like, Of course, I'm just trying to see from God's perspective, but I could literally be totally wrong. Like I feel like I have been 99% of the time when I try to think ahead. I'm like, maybe this is what God's doing, but he's not. He's not. He's just trying to make me trust him even more and not lean on all these little signs that I still feel like could be from him, but it's probably not. But I had to document it. You guys know I had to document it just in case. But anyways, okay, I gotta deal with this mess and I still gotta shower and go to work. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.